Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys. I can't believe it. This is it. This is finally it. We're finally here. We actually made it. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I couldn't contain my excitement a whole lot more, hands down, but yeah, I guess you can tell since the start of this year, I am super hyped to finally talk about this movie, and, well, here I am officially talking about it here today, so, whew, okay. Okay, calm down now. You can still do this. You can get through it just fine. Whew, okay. Yeah, I know, it's not my first time I actually had that experience like that, so yeah, I guess if anything, ever since the last thoughts video that I did, where of course I talked about Red One, which I guess it was a decent enough Christmas flick to start off this month. Well, I guess I knew I can't leave it at that. I definitely need to pretty much get right on to something really good for sure, and well, it looks like for today's movie we're officially talking about here today, I think it is exactly that, hands down, because yeah, let me tell you, if you have seen my videos in the past talking about this one for sure, you would definitely know I've been building anticipation to not only see this movie, but to get out my review on this one for sure. And to think that I've waited a good, long, freaking time to finally get to this movie, you would not believe the hell of how much waiting I had to go through to finally get to this point by far. Yeah. And I think you can pretty much get the idea, hands down. Yeah, I guess it is my excitement building up for this again, so yeah, anyways, I guess since after what I've actually been through, it looks like we're in for today's movie for sure, and, well, here's something you haven't actually heard me saying after quite a while. Well, given to the day of when this video is posted, and not to mention, by the time I'm recording this, here's something I haven't actually done in almost a year now. I got to see the latest movie through an early Thursday screening of it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can pretty much see where I'm going at with it, hands down. So yeah, I guess it has been a while since I've actually done an early Thursday screening of the latest movie that just came out for sure. But hey, give it to us some stuff that I'll be doing to keep me occupied throughout the weekend. I have every good reason to actually do this one for sure, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, on that front for sure, So yeah, I guess for today's movie, I did manage to get myself in for an early Thursday screening, hands down, and, well, I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what movie I'm talking about here today. Well, I've been building this up for a long time, and I think with, of course, constant video after constant video of me talking about this subject matter for sure, I think I knew this review has been long anticipated for a long time, as much as the movie for sure, so yeah, and I guess pretty much for what it is, I think we're gonna get to exactly that right now for sure, so yeah, with that being said, let's get ourselves in for sure on, of course, one big massive trip all the way to the land of Oz as we speak, as we talk about the latest movie that just came out not too long ago, or I guess probably by the time this video goes live, it's already out today for sure. But regardless of that, we might as well talk about the latest movie that just came out, which is none other than Wicked. So So yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about here today, and boy, we're finally doing this as we speak. We're finally talking about Wicked. So yeah, it's not only the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but of course as well, it's not only the first of a two-parter as we speak, and yes, it is actually intentional, but given to, of course, what I've actually said, it is, of course, based on the iconic Broadway musical of the same name, for sure. So yeah, this one has been long anticipated for a long time now, and we're finally talking about this movie here today, now that it's finally out, for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, well, I think it is quite fitting that we should talk about, well, I think right before we talk about Wicked the movie, we should talk about the original Broadway musical Wicked, for sure. And, well, what can I say about the Broadway musical that a lot of people are having already, for sure. So yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that ever since its opening in 2003, Wicked has, of course, been one of the most recognizable Broadway musicals that's been around for a long time now, for sure. And it is actually for a good reason, of course, on that front, for sure. So yeah, I think with, of course, pretty much on what they did with, of course, incorporating some themes and ideas, of course, on that front, while, of course, pretty much be centered around, loosely around The Wizard of Oz, which I guess it needs no introduction, of course, that front. That, too, is, of course, one of the most recognizable stories that's been around for over a century now. But, of course, we all know The Wizard of Oz through the original movie from 1939, starring Judy Garland, for sure. So, yeah. And even looking back on it, after all these years, it's still being held as, of course, one of the greatest family films of all time, and again, for good reason. So yeah, I think with, of course, pretty much for the sake of Wicked, yeah, that too is pretty much on the same level, for sure, and given for the fact that it's been currently going on for over 20 years now, it's definitely saying a whole lot. And even to this day, it actually still holds the title as being one of the longest running Broadway shows of all time. So yeah, and of course, my experience with Wicked, hands down, yeah, I guess if anything, it really is something that I definitely need to address, for sure. I actually did remember all the way back in the early 2010s, for sure. I actually did get to check out the national touring company of this musical. Actually twice, for sure, when it came up to Syracuse around that time. The first time I went was all the way back in early 2010, and the second time I went actually happened around late 2012, for sure. And I guess for my honest opinion on the original musical, for sure, yeah, I guess if anything, I can side with a lot of people, hands down. I love the original musical Wicked for what it is, for sure. So yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, the story is actually very clever, the characters are interesting, and of course, the musical numbers are, of course, really nice and memorable, for sure. So yeah, I think with, of course, some nice creative ideas they actually threw into it, while, of course, giving a new point of view on something from The Wizard of Oz that we never actually witnessed before, to which I guess I know years later is now what plenty of stuff and other media is trying to copy nowadays. Yeah, I guess if anything, Wicked is, of course, the one true musical that I really couldn't help but admire, for sure. And even to this day, I still definitely think it's considered to be one of my favorite Broadway musicals of all time, amongst plenty of others that I've actually seen over the years. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for the original Broadway musical the movie is based on, for sure. So yeah, and of course, a lot like everyone else, I actually got myself quite curious since after seeing the musical on how it could actually translate well as a feature film on the big screen for sure. And even if you actually have seen one of the documentaries centered around of this iconic Broadway musical for sure, you would definitely know that one of the show's producers, Marc Platt, has actually been wanting to turn this into a feature film ever since pretty much picking up the film rights to the original book by Gregory Maguire that the musical is actually based on, to which, yeah, I do indeed apologize if I forgot to mention that for sure, but it is actually quite interesting when you really think about it for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything, I can definitely side with a lot of people in wondering how Wicked will actually translate well onto the big screen for sure, and I'm sure a lot of people have actually gotten confused a couple of years ago when it was announced that it was going to be split into two parts for sure. But my stance is that pretty much looking on the storyline of the musical, pretty much splitting it into two parts actually makes a whole lot of sense when you really think about it for sure. So, but yeah, regardless on that, I am quite curious to see on how it would actually translate out well onto the big screen. And I can tell last year that right from the beginning, from well over a year ago when the production images got leaked online to where we are this year with all the trailers and marketing for sure, I can tell this movie has a lot of promise by far. I can tell they're really going to whip up something great with, of course, this one, or at least something good for sure, and I guess I actually did kind of hope that pretty much upon looking over this, Universal might have actually learned their lesson since after what they've been through with, of course, pretty much the last couple of movie musicals they put out, which I did talk about in the past, with, of course, Cats being absolutely terrible, hands down, and Dear Evan Hansen being, well, okay at best, to which I guess if it is their excuse to actually top the success they had with Les Miserables back in 2012, yeah, I don't think you can really pretty much catch lightning in a bottle twice with the hang, so yeah, given to all that, I think I'm almost beginning to wonder the people at Universal have already got all those angry notes pretty much after people saw both Cats and Dear Evan Hansen and kind of figure, okay, yeah, we definitely need a Wicked to come and save the day for sure, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case for sure, so yeah, luckily enough, right around earlier today, by the time I'm recording this, I did manage to get myself into a Regal Cinemas with, of course, my mom, who came along to see this one with me, and yes, by the way, me wearing this green shirt to see this movie is actually intentional for sure. So yeah, I couldn't deny that hands down. I definitely need to go for a little something in context for sure. So yeah, but regardless on that, I did manage to get myself in to a Regal Cinemas down in Binghamton to get myself in for an early Thursday screening of course this movie for sure. So yeah, consider myself lucky, of course, that front. And well, I guess for what it is, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Wow. Where do I begin? Oh, what the hell, I'm actually gonna pretty much spill the beans right about now. This movie is absolutely fucking stupendous! So yeah, I guess with, of course, what I've actually seen, I really enjoyed this movie a whole lot for sure. I think with, of course, what they actually did, Universal You really made third time the charm. You finally got it right for sure. So yeah, with of course what I'm actually seeing, it actually did translate out very well as the movie, and actually did the Broadway musical justice, hands down. So yeah, given to what I've actually seen by far, I really enjoyed this movie a whole lot. I really do think it is absolutely spectacular and absolutely fantastic in a way. I dare even say it is indeed wonderful for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and of course, bear one thing in mind that I need to get out real quick is that, like I said earlier, this is, of course, the first of a two-parter as we speak for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, given for the sake of this movie, this actually follows through on Act 1 of the musical for sure, and given to what I'm actually seeing, I really do think it is actually structured out quite well for sure. Basically, like I said earlier, it definitely took pretty much the first act of the musical pretty much for what it is, but they also added in some stuff like, of course, elements and stuff from, of course, the original Gregory Maguire book of the same name to really help expand and actually explore more on what the Broadway musical hasn't actually dabbled into for sure. And for that, I really do think it actually is actually structured out quite well for sure. I really do get a good sense of course, everything that goes on for sure, and I really do follow through with that with what goes on throughout the entire course of the movie for sure. It really is something I couldn't help but admire all the way, and I really do think this movie did a fantastic job with its story for sure. So yeah, and not to mention the writing, I have to say, that too is also very cleverly well done for sure. I really do think they've written out everything quite well for sure to really give this movie a whole lot of structure and of course some stuff to make it easy and straightforward for sure. And for that, I really do think they did an incredible job with, of course, all that hands down. Wherever they need to do something that's similar to what they did in the musical, that's actually done well. And whenever they need to add something to help tie into the plot, that too works well quite amazingly for sure. And I know hands down that with plenty of other movie musicals that sometimes adding in some stuff could sometimes pretty much work well, and other times it would actually derail the plot for sure. But I guess for the sake of the writing in this movie, it is definitely more towards on the former for sure. So yeah, I really do admire, of course, what they actually did with the writing for sure. They really did an incredible job and did their homework to really try to make this a whole lot more faithful and authentic to the original musical for sure. And not to mention, pretty much, there's even some really good jokes and stuff they adding to adding a bit of a comedy for sure. And of course, I will have to say, I do think that actually works quite well for sure, because if anything from what I've actually seen, I really do think this movie actually did provide some pretty good comedy for sure, and I did end up getting some pretty good laughs for sure at a good number of jokes and stuff that actually did work for sure. And oh yeah, even the gags for sure, that too I think works tremendously well by far. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much what I can say for, of course, those aspects in a nutshell for sure. I will give them credit for adding in some stuff that needed to be added in to explore more on, of course, what the musical is actually lacking for sure. But again, it does want to stay true to the original musical, hands down, and I really do think they did an incredible job on, of course, that front. And given to what I've actually said, it's kind of similar to how I felt about Disney's live-action remake of The Jungle Book back in 2016. Yeah, I guess it pretty much did follow through on what the animated film did, but it did an incredible job adding in some elements from the Rudyard Kipling book of the same name to actually making its own thing. So I can definitely make the same argument for, of course, this film as well, and I really do think they did an incredible job on, of course, that front. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, and for that, they really did an incredible job for what it is, and again, it really does work well, and of course, one of the musical's taglines that they dig is that if you think you know the story of the Wizard of Oz, well, think again. So yeah, that's of course what I can say, of course, that front, and oh yeah, even the other tagline that is pretty much recognizable for the musical is that everything happened long before Dorothy dropped in, so. But yeah, you kind of get the idea, of course, that front for sure, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say for all those aspects for sure, so yeah. Alright. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've officially got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the characters, and yeah, I guess if anything for the characters, I have to say, well, we do know the characters from the original musical, hands down, and given for the sake of this movie, they really did an incredible job with the characters, hands down, for sure. I really do love the nice bit of development that we actually got with, of course, each and every single one of them, for sure, to actually make them all the more likable and interesting, for sure. And for that, I really do think this movie really did an incredible job with doing exactly that, for sure. I really do get to know the characters quite well, for sure, and I can easily tell them apart and know their characteristics, and of course understand their flaws and how they're willing to overcome them, for sure. And for that, I really do think this movie did an incredible job making usage of the characters, for sure, So yeah, but by far, the one thing we do love the most about the original musical that the movie did an incredible job at is the relationship between the two Witches of Oz, by far, those being Glinda, who would actually become Glinda the Good, for sure, and of course the Wicked Witch of the West herself, Elphaba. So yeah, I guess I give it to what I'm actually seeing. I really do dig the nice relationship they actually had throughout the course of this movie, for sure. Starting off as pretty much enemies at first, but then over time they really start to grow and actually become best friends, for sure. So yeah, I think pretty much with what I've actually seen, I really do think the relationship between pretty much both Elphaba and Glinda, for sure, I think is what really drives the musical by far, and this movie really did an incredible job in incorporating that, hands down, to really give it some emotional weight, hands down, and yeah, I really do think they did an incredible job with that. I really do buy their relationship, hands down, and get a full-on understanding on what they're actually like and their personalities by far, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the characters, for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind. I really do think this movie is very well casted, for sure, and I really do think they really got some really good actors to play all these characters, and for that, I think they really pulled off some really great performances, hands down. I really do dig, of course, on how well invested they are with their performances and to make their characters work with the material that's actually been given by far. I really do love the hell out of course, the actors, for sure. I really do think this movie really did utilize them quite well. Like, yeah, I guess if anything, I think I might as well name quite a whole lot for sure. So yeah, and I guess for this case, pretty much with of course for the case of Elphaba, who's of course played here by Cynthia Erivo, I really do think she really pulled off the character of Elphaba quite well, and I really do love her commitment to really make the character great for sure, and I think it's through Erivo's performance is what really drives the guy hands down. And let's not forget to mention Ariana Grande as Glinda, and to me, I really do think she really pulled off Glinda quite well. You can tell that she was really passionate to play this character hands down, and she really did an incredible job being portraying Glinda that well for sure. And again, going back to the relationship between the two main leads, I really do think is quite admirable for sure, and I really do applaud the commitment both Erivo and Grande actually did to make the characters work, and both of their performances I really couldn't get enough of for sure. So yeah, those are pretty much what I can say for of course those two for sure. And I know there's a whole lot more for me to pretty much list off right now, so I'll go ahead and give it right there for sure. So yeah. I guess for the other actors, well, I guess pretty much it is something to bring up for sure. Like, of course, Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero is absolutely marvelous, and I really do applaud his performance for the hag. Ethan Slager as Bach is absolutely perfect, hands down, and wow, to think he actually made the transition from playing SpongeBob to playing Bach. That is actually something I really do admire for sure. I really do think Ethan Slager really portrayed Bach quite well for sure. So yeah, and of course, let's not forget to mention Marissa Bond, who actually pretty much is, of course, a disabled actress, and of course is on a wheelchair for sure, playing Elphaba's sister Nessa Rose. That, I will have to say, is absolutely a brilliant hands down. I really do think Marissa Bond actually really did an incredible job playing Nessa Rose for sure. And of course, Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible is actually pretty good for sure. Peter Dinklage as Dr. Dillamond is absolutely perfect by far. I really do applaud his performance in that. And let's not forget to mention Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz himself. And yeah, I will have to say I really do admire his commitment in that. And well, I guess judging by what I've actually seen, it is basically just Jeff Goldblum being, well, Jeff Goldblum for sure. So yeah, and that's just to name me a few, with a whole lot more actors who play other characters that I couldn't actually list for sure. But with, of course, what I've actually seen, I really do admire all the actors in this movie. I think they're very well, perfectly casting for sure, and they really portray the characters quite well for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the characters and the actors in a nutshell for sure. I really do think the characters are definitely likable and interesting, and all the actors definitely pulled off some really great performances, hands down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Quite a whole lot, actually. I guess seeing how this is in fact a musical, hands down, we should definitely talk about the music and the songs next, and yeah, what can I say about the music and the songs from Wicked that a lot of people haven't already? There's a whole lot to choose from for some really great songs, like, of course, Wizarding Eye, Popular, Dancing Through Life, Defying Gravity, and that's just to name me a few by far. But regardless on that, I say all the songs, and of course, this movie, yeah, the music and the songs, and of course, this movie, Yeah, I will have to say that is actually brilliant, hands down for sure. I really do think the music and the songs really tied in everything with what goes on through the entire plot of course, the musical, hands down, and I think they really did a tremendous job with what they actually did with that in this movie for sure. And of course, pretty much some of the nice renditions and stuff to make it all the more cinematic is all the more worth it, hands down for sure. And I really do admire the nice little snippets and stuff of course, the songs that are, of course, incorporated into the movie's score, hands down. And I really do love on what they actually did for sure. And for the actual songs for sure, yeah. Like I said, I really do think they are tremendous by far, and I really pretty much couldn't help get a really good vibe of course, each and every single one of them. They're that great, hands down, and yeah, I think given to the commitment they actually did, especially with, of course, pretty much the person composing the songs from the musical in this, right into this movie, Stephen Schwartz. I really do think they really work quite well for sure. And I really do think they did an incredible job with, of course, the music and the songs. And oh yeah, I even should mention is that I really do admire for the fact that the good number of actors in this movie actually took the time to sing the songs live for sure, as opposed to doing it in a recording booth, hands down. And yeah, I guess I know in the past, with, of course, pretty much stuff like Cats and Dear Evan Hansen, where I know the idea can work, but they just couldn't actually pretty much getting right hands down. But hearing, of course, this movie, they really make it work hands down, because if anything, going back a bit to what I've said about the actors, they not only pulled off some really great performances through their acting, but I really do admire their singing as well. I really do think they do have such perfect voices to really help drive the songs quite well for sure, and I really do admire on what they actually did for sure. So yeah. However, I will say, I think some of them I do think are a little bit off-key from what I can recall, but maybe that's just me thinking, yeah, maybe I think that's just me talking for sure. But regardless of that, I really do love what they did with the music and the songs in this movie. In fact, I dare even say that I would definitely love to pick up the soundtrack to this movie. It's that great, I'm not gonna lie, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the music and the songs for sure. Now, as for the production value, yeah, there's a lot to go through, hands down. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, the production values and the production design, of course, this one, that too, I will have to say, is actually done quite well for sure. I really do admire, of course, what they actually did for sure, and I love the, yeah, I guess if you know me, I always do love some really great world building in a movie, hands down, and this movie is no exception. Yeah, this movie is clearly one good exception by far for sure, So yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, I really do feel like I've really stepped into the land of Oz when I actually looked at it for sure. I guess upon looking at it hands down, I'd be like, holy crap, I want to be in this world. It's actually that great for sure. Almost like something that you can actually go to and visit, hands down for sure. And I really do love on what they actually did for sure. Not only through some really nice usage of color they actually did to really make pretty much this movie look great, and even help give vibes to, of course, the entire land of Oz for sure. But again, giving, if you actually seen the production images for sure, that too I will have to say, that too is, of course, one aspect in the production value I really do love the most. I really do love the nice sets they actually built for sure to really get yourself into, of course, this world, hands down. And yeah, upon looking at it, I love what they did with the set design and, of course, this movie for sure. Like, of course, if you actually look at it, hands down, you really do feel like you stepped into, of course, these pretty much different places throughout Oz for sure. Like, of course, you are in Munchkin Land, you are in Shiz University, and you are in the Emerald City, just to name me a few for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the set design for sure. Now, as for the visuals and the effects for sure, well, I will have to say, it's honestly not that bad for sure. I mean, not great from what I can gather, but I really do pretty much like the visuals and the effects. I really do think that, yeah, I really do think for while the visuals and the effects are not really that spectacular, and even the CGI, I have to say, is actually passable, to say the least. I still think they really do make it all the more nice for sure, to really help blending everything else that goes on, to really make you feel like you really have stepped into Oz for sure. And for while I do think some things aren't rendered out quite well, or even doesn't blend in for sure, I still think it actually does work pretty much fine for, of course, this movie for sure, and I really do think they really did their best to make it look good for sure. So yeah, I guess in terms of the visuals and the effects, and even the CGI for sure, well, they don't look real, but they actually do look good for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, on that front for sure. Now, for the direction in this film, holy crap! There's a lot for me to talk about, and of course, quite fitting enough, this movie is, of course, given to us from one director I've actually mentioned some time ago, I dare even say years ago for sure, that being, of course, John M. Chu. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything for him to direct this movie, my God, I think his direction that he gave is absolutely brilliant, hands down. And, well, I remember a few years ago when I talked about the previous movie musical that he actually directed, In the Heights. Yeah, I really do think he really worked well with the material that's actually been given to make that movie actually look great for sure. And for the sake of this movie, yeah, he really is on his A game with, of course, this one for sure. I really do admire the commitment and effort that he actually did to make this movie all the more great for sure. And I love, of course, what he actually did, hands down for sure. And yeah, for that, I really do think John M. Chu really did a spectacular job directing this film for sure, similar to what he did previously with In the Heights. So yeah, good work, John M. Chu. You managed to win me over once again for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the direction for sure. Now for the cinematography, I will have to say, well, I guess to me, if I do have anything to complain about, is that I do felt the cinematography, well, it's not bad per se, but it's not great either. I do think they could have given us some much better camera shots that I really do think could actually help drive this movie with its look and feel for sure, but I do think pretty much similar to what I've said earlier with the visuals and the effects, and even the CGI for sure. It's not bad for sure, but it is actually decent enough, I suppose, for sure. But I do admire on what they actually did, and oh yeah, let's not forget to mention the choreography. I will have to say, pretty much going back a bit to the musical numbers, for sure. That I will have to say is actually brilliantly well done, I'm not gonna lie. I can tell that pretty much they really choreographed some really great dance numbers to incorporate well into, of course, pretty much the musical numbers in this movie. And I think they did it quite well for sure. I really do admire that hands down. And, well, given to, of course, what I've actually heard with, of course, the musical numbers, I too would definitely want to dance to that for sure. So yeah, kind of forgot to mention that aspect earlier, but I guess I might as well bring it up now. Okay, back to, of course, why I'm actually saying. So yeah, and of course, for the Aing, I have to say, yeah, I will have to say, I really do think this movie really did some really great job through its Aing, as pretty much a good number of areas have been cut up perfectly, hands down, to go alongside with everything else that goes on throughout the course of the movie, hands down. And yeah, I really do think the film had some really fantastic Aing for sure, and it even matches so well with the film's pacing for sure that I really do think worked quite well, that I really could get behind in its entirety. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say. Of course, that aspect along for sure, and of course, for the last couple that I will have to say is that they do actually have not only some really nice cameos for sure, to which I'm not going to give away, of course, who actually makes cameos in this movie. You're going to have to see this one for yourself in order to know exactly what it is for sure. But also the callbacks and references to the Wizard of Oz in general, I really do think it actually blends in everything else that goes on throughout the course of this movie, and I really do think they did an incredible job in, of course, adding that in for sure. So yeah, I guess with everything that I have to say in such an overlong video, yeah, you can definitely tell that really does show on how I actually felt about this movie for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I need to say about this movie for sure. So yeah, overall, I will have to say this. If there is a movie out there that has a brain, a heart, and some courage, then I can get a tell that it will actually give us something that I can not only love and admire, but also say it's actually pretty much well worth your time by far. And believe it or not, Wicked is that said movie for sure. So yeah, with everything that I've actually said by far, yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind, Wicked is, of course, a wonderful and yet spectacular movie for what it is. Not only working quite well on its own as its own movie, but also really did an incredible job, and of course, pretty much staying true to the original Broadway musical, hands down, while adding in some stuff to really expand a whole lot that we've never actually seen before, hands down, and for that, I really do think this movie did a tremendous job in doing exactly that for sure. So yeah, with everything that I've actually seen by far, it works very well with what you need to do, and I love the pretty much the hard work, effort, and dedication they actually did to make this really make this one the best that it can. And well, I knew hands down this movie is going to be good, but I didn't expect it to be this great, hands down. So yeah, I guess for what it is, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie by far. Yeah, I guess if anything, I can still love the original Broadway musical for what it is. And I think this movie did an incredible job in doing exactly that for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, I do highly recommend this movie, hands down. So yeah, I'm glad that we finally got the movie for what it is, hands down, and I really do think it's well worth your time checking out for sure. Yeah, it really is something I couldn't help but admire all the way, and well, I guess if anything, whether you be a fan of course, the original musical, or The Wizard of Oz in general, or as a die-hard moviegoer, I say this movie is definitely well worth your time by far for sure, and that's something I really do admire the most. You can actually make a really successful Broadway musical and actually translate perfectly well to make it sell to a movie-going audience, and I think this movie did exactly that, hands down. So yeah, I guess if anything, if you're looking for something that would actually stay true to the original Broadway musical, while also pretty much celebrate everything that we all know and love about it, or I guess everything else revolving around the Wizard of Oz in a nutshell, the guys say this movie is definitely well worth your time checking out for sure. So yeah, trust me when I say that this movie is not only great, but I'm happy to say that this is definitely one of the best movies that I've actually seen for this year by far. And for that, I'm actually quite excited to see what they're going to do for next year when they release part 2 of this movie. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. And yeah, like I said, keep in mind that currently, as of now, this is the first of a 2-parter as of now. So we're gonna have to tune in until next year to see on what part 2 will actually give us for sure. But until that day comes, I know hands down that Wicked is definitely something that really is worth taking a trip to the land of Oz for sure, for not only something great, but also for something truly wonderful, hands down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yes, folks, I am definitely proud to say that I'm giving this movie a massively solid 9 out of 10 as my final score, hands down. So yeah, with everything that I've actually said, I really enjoyed the hell of this movie, and it really did an incredible job being faithful to the original Broadway musical, hands down. And seeing how this is the first of a 2-parter, I am quite excited to see what they got next for sure. So yeah, and I guess if it is something that you're looking for, hands down, well, grab your magic broomstick and defy gravity for yourself to see this tremendous movie by far, which is indeed a must-watch for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and another overly long one for sure, because yeah, trust me, I had a lot to talk about with, of course, on this one, but for now, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Wicked, if you've actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it really did an incredible job by pretty much it being faithful to the original musical, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time, or are you somewhere in between where you think it's alright for sure? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie if you've actually seen it. I would definitely love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching, and phew, we finally got it done at long last for sure. I mean, sure, we're gonna have to pretty much talk about it again for when part 2 comes out next year, but I'm excited, hands down. So yeah, I guess in the meantime, I know I've got other new releases to look forward to, hands down, for sure. So I'll be sure to get those out right before this year ends, for sure. And oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, yeah, I guess while I was there, I not only got these 2 enamel pins, one on Elphaba and one on Glinda, that I actually bought right before the movie started, to which, thankfully, give it to the pins that I actually bought. They're good. Pretty much the money I've used to buy these 2 are definitely going into charity, which is actually quite nice. But moreover, I actually got myself a poster of course, this movie. So sweet, now I have another movie poster to hang up on my wall for sure. So yeah, I'll definitely get some things figured out. So I guess right up until the next movie I'll actually go see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next thoughts video. Take care.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with SamAttack4427's, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.